Good afternoon and welcome back to Let's Talk Destiny Talk Show. I'm honored tonight, this afternoon, I should say, to have one of my sons of my heart with me today, Mr. Cody Brown. And
Hello, hello.
I wanted to just talk to one of my sons about the gift of fatherhood. It's not always easy, but it is still a gift. And so, first of all, let's start with welcoming you to the show, Cody. And
Thank
also,
you.
I'd like to remind the audience that this month's sponsor for the Let's Talk Destiny show is A Flavored Life, which
Mhm.
is an organization founded and operated by my sister, Kelly Green Adams. And it advocates for mental health through therapy and consultation. All right.
Mhm.
We thank them for sponsoring the show this month. So, Cody, tell us a little bit about Cody before we start talking about the fatherhood thing. Tell us a little bit about you. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? What makes you laugh?
Okay. Well, I'm Cody. I'll be 30 in 2 weeks. Um, I play softball. I go to church. I spend lots of times with my kids. Seeing my kids happy and having fun makes everything all right with me. I would, I would take, I would give anything to make sure my kids are happy every single day. They're joyful, they're smiling, they're playing, they hurt themselves, cool, that's fine. But as long as they are enjoying themselves, I that's all right with me.
Awesome. So, how many children do you have, boys and girls? Tell us how many you have.
Uh I have three with one on the way. Um my oldest is my daughter Christiana. She'll be 11 this year. My second child is Kamorie. She'll be 9 this year. My third child is my namesake, my junior. He'll be 4. And my daughter on the way. Uh, Due date is supposed to be November 21st. So prayerfully that it goes that way and we'll have a good and healthy pregnancy.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, Cody, let me get into this whole thing about fatherhood because society makes jokes about how mothers get so much attention and so much fanfare
Hmm.
on Mother's Day, but fathers don't hardly get any fanfare or whatever. But I
Hmm.
personally wanted to make sure that it is understood how important fatherhood is. I had a wonderful relationship with my father. I know a lot of young women that did not,
Hmm.
but I had an amazing relationship with my father, and I personally believe that that relationship with my father is a foundation for all the other relationships I have in my life. And so I'm grateful for that. Um, in general,
Hmm.
do you see society minimizing your role as a father compared to motherhood? And if you do, give us an example of that.
I do in some areas, um, because now, excuse me, some people do have common sense and some people don't. That's rule number one. People don't have common sense.
Yes.
Um, but society wants us to believe that on the female side that I've seen, and ladies, if I'm wrong, please don't come at me. I'm just telling you what I see. That the women, they'll have these kids by these guys, and they won't let the men be in those kids' lives. Now, I've been a part of that. That happened to me for a few years, so it's a little off. But that's later on. Um, and it was always, yeah, you don't do nothing for them. I'm the mama and the daddy, and you don't need to be there, and blah blah blah. I just I believe that's wrong because you need to have a male figure in the house. I grew up without my dad. My dad passed when I was 2, so I was raised by nothing but women. So the manly things I had to figure out, like trying to fix my car or fix something in the house, or if something breaks, I gotta screw it, nail it, all those good things. I had to figure that out as I was growing up, you know. I couldn't figure those things out with my dad. I couldn't say, "Hey, Dad, help me out."
Right.
I couldn't say those things because, obviously my dad wasn't there. It's a very big part and a very big piece in any child's life to have their dad with them, you know, or at least be a part of them. If the parents are
Exactly.
co-parenting, that's good. That's a very good thing. You got to have dad around so dad can show you things that mama can't show you.
Yeah. I absolutely
Yeah.
agree. I absolutely agree with that. Um, and we all understand that there are situations, each situation is different, and there is
Hmm.
no cookie cutter solution to this situation. My oldest son, his father died when he was 10 months old, so of
Mm,
course he couldn't be there. And
yeah.
then my youngest son's father, he chose not to be there.
Hmm.
um, but I would never like tell my son how much I despise his father. Like, I
Hmm.
might say it to other people, but I wouldn't say it to him because that's still
Right.
his father. And I
Right.
just feel like it's important for us as mothers to realize that even if you are doing double duty, even if
Hmm.
you're a single mother and you're there, in the house 24/7 or whatever, you still cannot be somebody's father.
Yep.
And I know a lot of, women come at my throat when I say that, because when I was much younger
Hmm.
and unlearned, I used to say, I'm the mama and the daddy.
Hmm.
And my father said to me one day, he said, say something. You can be the very best mother that you could be,
Hmm.
but
It's
you were
true.
not even created to be somebody's father.
Yep.
And so you can't be somebody's father because you don't have what it takes to be a father.
Hmm.
So that's when I began to understand the importance of having male mentors and, other males in my son's lives. But I definitely wanted us to address that because I think that fathers oftentimes get a bad rap, even
Yes.
fathers who are trying to do the right thing. You
Yes.
don't have to be in a relationship with the mother to do what's right by the children. But there
No.
are too many times when mothers take out their ill feelings toward the father and they use the children as pawns.
Yeah.
And
That's
they
true.
get mad at you and you can't see your son this week. They get mad
Hmm.
at you and you can't pick up your daughter this week.
Yep.
And that shows a great level of immaturity. And so
Yes.
today I specifically wanted to address the fact that fatherhood, it matters. Fatherhood is important. Your involvement in your children's lives and the role that you play um, are very, very important. And
Yes.
we watch fathers interact with their children, and there's just something there that they give that nobody else can give. Now, let me ask you this
Hmm.
question. Do you remember how you felt when your very first child was born?
Oh, I cried. I cried. I cried like a baby. I seen, it was November 27th. It was at night. I don't know if it was like in wee hours of the night. It was dark outside, so it was nighttime. So like, damn, I remember. That was 10 years ago, almost 11. But man, I cried, yo. I cried. I was like, oh my God, I'm crying. I'm holding the mom. We're holding each other. We're crying. Oh my God, I love you so much. All that good stuff. It was, man, it was the most exciting feeling. Just watching how God creates life, you know, from nothing, from a little sperm to a
That's right.
human being.
It's a
And
whole person. Like,
yeah, like you're real. You know what I mean? It was, man, it was unimaginable, man. And I love it. I love the way creation happens, you
yeah,
know. Um yeah, it was a dope moment. It was dope. I cried. I definitely cried. Now my other
awesome.
two kids, I didn't cry. because I was like, yo, this is great. Like, I mean, it was good. I'm not taking nothing from my other kids
Right.
being
I
born. I'm not.
understand. But that
But
first one.
that first one, boy, I was, whew, you could have filled an 8 foot pool with my tears.
Now let me say this. When I was born prematurely. And that was way back, long time ago, when medical science was like, pretty much prematurity at that time was almost a death sentence, period.
Yep. Yep.
And my father
Mm-hmm.
made a covenant with God. And he
Mm,
said to him, if you let my daughter live,
mm,
I will serve you for the rest of my life
mm,
and I will serve
mm,
your people. And
mm,
until his last breath, that's what he
mm.
did.
Yeah.
When you saw your daughter being born the very first time and you realized your responsibility in her being here,
Mm-hmm.
and your responsibility in her life for the rest of her life,
Yeah.
what was that feeling of commitment that you made to her and to God?
Uh, my commitment to her was no matter what I do, I will be there for you, no matter where I am, no matter where I am in life. You call me. I don't care what it is. You, Daddy, I broke my toe. I'll be there. I will carry you to the hospital. You're okay. That was my commitment. Like, because me growing up without my dad, that did something. That really did something to me. As I got older. When I was younger, I was like, man, I'm just here. I'm living. But as I got older, I was like, man,
Yeah,
and I also had this is a weird fact that nobody knows. So my dad died when he was 21, about to be 21, 10 days
wow,
from being 21. And me, getting closer to that age, I'm like, man, I had a superstition thing. I'm like, yo, I got a
yeah,
kid. And when I turn 21, she'll be 2. I'm like, oh my God, like, no, God, I can't end like this. This can't end.
yeah,
I can't die young. But
wow,
and I was in a bad way at that age. I did my dirt. I was out here doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing. So my commitment to God was, I'll leave this alone. Keep me here to raise my child. I'll leave all of this nonsense alone, and I'll leave it behind.
wow.
But I'll stop it. And I felt like God honored my covenant. And ever since then, man, I done steered away. All right, God's been keeping me and my family and her. So yeah, that was my promise. And
That's powerful. And as you
and
look at each of your children and you think about even the one that's on the way, and you
mhm,
think about the fact that that's a part of me. Like
yeah,
when I'm gone, I will still be here because of my children.
yeah,
I personally don't understand how a father cannot want to be in their child's life. I mean, I
me
totally
either.
understand, the whole mother dynamic, and some women will make you just, like, just want to push them off the bridge. I totally understand that. But
Yeah.
when you get down to the get down,
Hmm.
that child is a part of you. It's a piece of you walking around in the earth. And
Yeah.
they need whatever it is you have, no matter what areas you might think you're coming up short in. You may
Hmm.
not always be able to provide them with the things that you
Yeah.
think that they want. But I tell you, I know for a fact that a child wants their father more than they want their father's money.
Yeah. Yep.
So because when
I
you when
believe it.
you say, yeah, so when they say, well, he sends child support, what does that mean to a 6-year-old, a 7-year old? They don't even know what child support is. They just want
Right.
to spend time with their daddy. So I
Yep.
salute you. I salute you because I know on a personal level that
Hmm.
you do what you can to spend time with your
Yeah.
children.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
no matter what's going on in your life, your circumstances, whatever, since I've known you, I've never known you to not want to be in your children's lives. And so I
Yeah.
salute you for that.
Thank you.
I salute you for that.
Thank you. It was hard, man. I had a I had a little stint. I think it was 2015 or 2016, 2015, 2016. Me and my daughter's mom, we broke up. We were together for 7 years, and it wasn't working out. Now maybe she may have thought a different story, but to me, I felt like, and the funny thing is, I actually talked to your son. I talked to Trey about this. I told him one night we come back from the ball from UMES, and I was telling him, I said, man, when I was dating my daughter's mom, I felt like I was just being like pushed down, and there was something that was trying to make me go up, but I couldn't
Yeah.
move. You know what I mean? I felt like I was just sitting down, and me and her split up, and we had issues, whatever, every relationship, but it came to um it got to the point where I couldn't really see my daughters, and she told them one time, she told my oldest daughter that I was dead.
Wow.
And I went to the mall, and I was walking around the mall, and my daughter saw me. I said, Yana. She looked at me, she was like, Dad, that's you? You know? I asked the mom, I said, why she look at me like that? And she said, I told her you were dead. And I was like, whoa, bro, like, what, what are we doing? You can't, you can't, you can't do that to these babies. At the time, they're still babies. You can't do that to them, because that shows, Mommy, you told me this, but you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
I just, like, it was really hard for me to see my kids for like 4 or 5 years. Like, it was hard, rough. It was rough. I would beg, I would beg, I would beg, I would beg. Please let me see my kids. Like, I still got screenshots from 2014, 2015, begging me to see my kids. I mean, it, like, and I keep that. I don't keep it to whoever's watching. I'm not trying to, uh, bring her down or anything. This is how people get healed. This is how
That's
people
right.
can understand certain things when somebody tells them what they went through. So that way, if
That's
that
right.
comes and it happens, you know how to go around it and say, hey, look, we're not going to do this because I know somebody who went through that, and that's not
That's
what we're
right.
going to do. So, but anyway.
And here's the thing, Cody. Let's
Mhm.
talk destiny. The whole concept of this format is purpose driven. And by
Correct.
that I mean every guest I have, I want the conversation to conclude with somebody being blessed by what was said to,
Yeah.
that they can say, wow, I'm going through that same thing. Now I
Hmm.
know I can get through it because they got through it.
Yeah. Yep.
Somebody, like you say, may be stuck in, like, I don't know what to do next. And they may hear
Hmm.
something that you say today that will
Yeah.
give them some semblance of light,
Hmm.
that it's not over with. So
Right.
transparency and honesty is all, that's
Yes.
what I'm all about.
Yep.
And I appreciate you sharing that, because I do know some fathers who are going through that right now,
Yeah.
with their children's mothers.
Hmm.
And you have to get the law involved, and you prefer not to
Yeah.
get the law involved, but you got to do what you got to do. So
Yeah.
it's all about the children at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. It was a rough few years, man. But I stuck through it. I kept talking to God. I'm like, all right, God, I ain't seen my kids. Like, I want to be there. It's not like I'm one of these guys out here popping babies and I'm out. Like,
Yeah,
that's not how I am. And things just weren't right, and God started to change hearts very slowly. I ain't mad with him. It took some time, but I ain't mad with him. I
I
ain't
ain't mad
mad with
at
him.
him, but I kind of wish he'd hurry
Took some
up.
time. But and now with them being 10 and 8, almost 11 and 9, like they love to spend time with me. They love to come over here. They love for me to take them places. Like, I went to New York Good Friday to pick up some of my in-laws, and I took my daughters with me because they'd never been to New York. I was like, you know what? Let me take them. Let them see the world a little bit.
Yeah,
Now my daughter, I just can't wait to go back to New York. I just
Wow.
can't wait. I just can't wait. And that just it just
Yeah.
you know it may not be big. That's just for me, But I truly thank God for changing the situation around because it was bad. It was very bad. But yeah, I love being a father. I wouldn't change it for the world.
That's awesome. I'm very proud of you. And
Thank
as we
you.
come to a close, I do want to say publicly that I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I know you've had some challenges in a lot of areas and days, not just when you wanted to just
Yeah,
forget the whole,
Jesus.
but you just forget life, period.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of you that you hung in there
Yeah.
and that even in the midst of all the drama, that
Yeah.
you maintain your integrity.
Yeah.
And God
Thank
is
you.
watching for you and He's
Yeah.
covering you and He's got
I
you and
believe it.
He's got your babies as well.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
believe
just
it.
honored to know you and to be able to call you my son. Even though I'm gonna
Oh,
tell everybody that you kicked me to the curb, like you took me to Ocean City, took me to
yeah,
the
we went to
beach,
the beach. Yeah.
collected seashells, got popcorn, but that was like 6 years ago, Cody.
COVID happened, but it's okay. We can go. You want to go this weekend? We can go this weekend.
No, it's too many people this weekend. No, I'm just picking on you, but I do
No,
love
I know
you.
it.
I'm very proud of you.
I love
Keep
you
your
back.
head up.
Yes,
Keep
ma'am.
moving forward. You got a
Yes, ma'am.
lot of life to live, buddy.
Oh
And
yeah, I
those
believe it.
and those children are looking up to you and they're learning
Yeah.
from you and they're depending on daddy.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I believe that.
All right. Well, thank you again
Right.
for joining us.
Yeah.
For those of you who are watching and those that will be watching, thank you for joining in with Let's Talk Destiny with Cody Brown. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers that are watching. Enjoy your weekend and don't let anybody minimize your role of importance in the life of your children. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Peace.